Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So the 9th episode of Titans has just been released and I was thinking, how do I summarize it? And I came to the conclusion that I have to say it was actually refreshingly awesome, as we've had so many episodes this season that have understandably just been about the Red Hood and Dick Grayson, and they have been wicked as they're both such iconic and important characters, but at the same time it was also so great to focus on the other characters within the Titans group that are just as pivotal and include some of my true favourites, such as the criminally underutilized Donna Troy, the absolutely hilarious Hank, the incredibly layered and surprisingly relatable Rachel, and the positive new boy Tim as well. Also, I just have to say, wow, the cinematography and the old school vibe that this episode had was pretty phenomenal too, and it just worked so well with the darker Titans aesthetic and made it new and bold while also still being really fitting at the same time. It was just so great and such a powerful episode and a truly emotional ending as well, which really did round off the episode so well and really did make it one of the best that the Titans TV series has ever created in a very long time. So the storyline of this episode focused on the afterlife, and now stay with me here, whilst tonally different for sure, I did think it did share some elements from the Netflix's recently released movie Afterlife of the Party in terms of focusing on the in-between, and I really just absolutely loved how they reunited Hank, Donna and Tim in No Man's Land, and I absolutely loved Hank's scenes with Donna, as they were obviously all friends from the early days of the Titans group, but he never really had some scenes with the Donna character, as all of his scenes were with the Dawn character. So it was really great having him share some scenes with another character, and they just bounced off each other so well as long lost friends with such deep character history, which worked really well in terms of exploring all of that on a deeper level, whilst also having a humorous level and banter between these two characters as well, as they could just instantly make fun of each other and make it feel really familiar for the audience, which I just thought was such a good thing that the Titans TV series did in this episode. I also really liked how the Tim character was in the mix as well, as a bit of a super new pre-Titan character that knows all about their history and just really wants to encourage the Donna character to return to Earth. Hank was just so funny in this episode. I mean, he always has been such an awesome character, but like I said, he's only really ever been involved with Dawn and Dick Grayson really, so it was so refreshing to see him being really hilarious as ever with a new character, and yet having a truly emotional ending which saw him being reunited with his brother and not making it back to Earth, which I just thought was a little bit bittersweet. I would have loved to have seen him returning from the dead, but unlike with the other two, he did die a while ago and his body did quite literally explode, so it was a very different situation. But either way, you know, it was still a little bit gutting that this is probably going to be the last time that we see this character, but you know, never say never. It was a little bit strange, but also kind of great not having a Dick-centric episode this time. I mean, the last time that happened was probably the Superboy-centric episode, which was also pretty awesome in its own right. I mean, I don't know why they gave the Bruce Wayne character the scene before the intro, as it was a pivotal moment within the wider DC world for sure in terms of the Batman character wanting to end his own life, but they should have given it to one of the characters in the train instead, as this really is what the whole episode was about. But you know, that being said, the ending was so badass. I absolutely love the fact that Tim and Donna are now back, and you just know that it's all about to go down, so I'm so hyped for next week. Well done to DC on creating a truly brilliant episode, and I literally just cannot wait to see what's going to happen with the Titans TV series. I have to say it again, I absolutely loved seeing Rachel and Donna again in this episode. Such awesome characters, and their lack of presence in series 3 thus far really has been felt. So it was so great having them back in this episode and really just having it as their episode. They didn't really share it with the other Titan characters. It was just based on these few mini group of characters, which I think was absolutely brilliant. Donna in particular, I've always said, has been so underused and is such an awesome character, and I'm just so glad that she's really having her moment to shine in this episode, and hopefully this will continue to be the case going forwards. I really did love her journey here, as she didn't really want to come back to life in the beginning, as she was a little bit disappointed with the way in which she died at the fairground, as she thought she would die doing something a little bit more heroic. Her advice to Tim was absolutely brilliant, and in particular, I love Donna's line where she was saying, you know, you can't put yourself in danger that you're not yet ready to handle, which I just thought was such a great life lesson, and actually can be quite applied to a lot of things, which I thought was really, really cool. Rachel in themyscira was also really, really cool as well. It definitely did feel like a little bit more of a stripped back version of themyscira to that we have seen in the Wonder Woman and the Justice League movies. But you know, that being said, it did still have the angelic island feel to it. I really did like her lesson in terms of learning about balance, but I also think it would have been great to have seen a bit more from the Rachel character. But you know, I do appreciate the fact that they did want to focus on the in-between characters. What I did really like about Rachel in this episode though was that she is now finally comfortable defending her powers and is really just fully embracing it and doesn't anymore see it as being, you know, dark and demonic. Yet from the outside perspective, people still judge her unfairly, which I thought was really, really interesting and really poignant social commentary. It also really did remind me when Starfire was telling her that her powers don't determine whether or not she is good or bad. Actually, she is the one that determines whether or not she is a good or bad person, and that she should just really embrace who she is, which she is now finally doing, which I just think is super superb. And I can't wait to see her being reunited with Starfire, who would literally just be so proud of the character that Rachel has become. I also love seeing Hank back too. Like I said before, he is just such a great character who has always been tied to the Dawn character, and their scenes together, you know, credit where credit's due, have been really awesome and really emotional and really powerful in their own right. But I do always think that they could have done a lot more with the character, especially with his hot-tempered yet hilarious attributes, especially within the Titans group. But you know, nonetheless, it was really great to see him with Donna and Tim here in this episode. I really did love that scene where he pulled out Dick Grayson's Robin daggers, which I thought was so brilliant and so Hank as well. I do feel like Alan Richson just brought so much to this episode. Like I said before as well, it is really tragic that he did want to come back to life so badly, yet was the one person that couldn't make it in the end. Although they did give him a little bit more of a hopeful ending in terms of reuniting him with his brother, the original Dove, which was a relatively fitting ending for such a great character. I love the smile that Hank gave when he knew that his team were trying to stop the Red Hood and Scarecrow, which was so emotionally powerful and a little bit heartbreaking, as we know that he will never reunite with them back on Earth. Bruce Wayne's last will and testament was really, really interesting. A character who has truly given up on life, quite literally. There were some great scenes for sure, but like I said before as well, I don't think that he should have had the pre-intro scene, as that's usually reserved for a really epic moment that will be felt across and throughout the episode. But you know, nonetheless, it was really impactful as well, and I really love the fact that Donna was saving him in an incredible way at the end of this episode, which I thought was really, really cool, which did mark the return of the Donna Troy character and the Wonder Girl character. And like I said, you just know that things are just going to be insanely epic now. I can't wait to see Donna Troy interacting with some of the different characters within the Titans world. Maybe Barbara Gordon, seeing her interactions with that character are going to be really, really cool. And I do really hope that they use her a lot more than they have done over the past few seasons. And I also can't wait to see what she's going to make of the person that Jason Todd has now become, and whether she'll criticize or support Dick Grayson with the choices that he has been making. So whilst this episode was pretty different compared to the usual and standard Titans formula, it was actually really, really, really great at the same time too. I've always said that they've done such excellent casting, and such excellent character development in this show, and this episode in particular was a perfect example of that as well. I am so happy that we've got Rachel and Donna and Tim coming back into the Titans group. I literally cannot wait to see what's going to happen next, and I can't wait to also see their interactions with Dick Grayson, with Jason Todd, with Scarecrow, with Starfire, with Gar, and with Superboy. This is just literally going to be absolutely insane. So those are all of my thoughts on the 9th episode of Titan Season 3. Now I'd love to hear from you, so please let me know your thoughts of the episode in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.